Hello, my name is Alan Nixon. I am the president of House Green. We are a Calgary-based residential home builder that specializes in passive house construction. For those of you who don't know, passive house construction is a European building standard that leverages quality windows and materials in conjunction with thermal bridge-free design and airtight construction. Calgary is what's referred to in the passive house world as a cold climate, so we have to have this extra insulation so that the building stays comfortable year-round. Our wall system is considerably different than a code-built house. This is what we refer to as a Larson truss system. It essentially is floor joists that we run vertically on the outside of our building and serves as an insulation holder for what would be approximately 14 inches of solid insulation that we would have in that space. A conventional code-built house will have 5.5 inches of batt insulation typically. That represents approximately R20. This house, with the addition of 14 inches of insulation on the outside, will be closer to an R50. So it's a considerable amount of thermally broken insulation as well. In addition, we have highly efficient HRVs, which are heat recovery ventilators, that also help keep our building air quality very, very high. So we don't have our windows installed just yet, but this does give you a sense of how thick the wall system really is. We use unconventional techniques to airtight our building. Code requires 2.4 air changes per hour. We're able to get this construction down to 0.2 changes per hour, so that's 10 times better essentially. So we try and minimize how many penetrations we have through an exterior wall. And when we do have a penetration, you can see this 2 water lines and a chase for our solar array that we'll have on the ceiling. Those are sealed up, whereas the electric that's run below that hasn't yet been sealed. We are clearly under construction here. We're insulating interior walls today. We have a nice vaulted space, so it's going to be nice and airy in here. It's going to be a fairly modern, contemporary interior. We're trying to build a really beautiful house that people can be proud of, that also happens to be energy efficient, happens to be healthy, happens to be something they can live in for a considerable amount of time. I'm hopeful that Indigenous communities will be interested in this house. I think it represents a really good opportunity for them to get a healthy house, an energy efficient house, and a house that will be in good condition for them for 100 years potentially. You know, a building on a farm, a farmstead or something along those lines that people are concerned about how much energy they're using, or they don't have consistent access to good energy, where their power goes out in the middle of the winter and it can be out for 3 or 4 or 5 days. This is the kind of house that will survive that, being able to generate its own energy, being able to not go to freezing overnight if the power was to go out. Or those kinds of locations would really benefit from this kind of building. We designed the building to be wheelchair accessible. You can age in place, and I think for a lot of older folks, that's really important for them to be able to stay in their home for longer than they would be able to, I guess, really, right?